Did you lose friends after 9/11?
Yes, I guess I must have done. Not well, to the extent that one lost them, I'm not sure that they were friends, if you see what I mean. But there were people who wrote and said unkind things about your humble servant, that sort of thing, which seemed to suggest they wouldn't want to see me again if they meant what they'd said. Well, in that case, fine.
Do you have a relationship anymore with Sidney Blumenthal at all?
No, no, that's not somehow possible.
Why not?
Well, we had a very different opinion of what his president, Mr. Clinton, was up to, both as a politician and as a man, especially a man in relation to certain females who I thought were telling the truth and who Sidney thought were not. And Sidney, who has many, many talents, seemed to me to have been hired by the president to prostitute those talents, to essentially to defame and discredit those women. And I just found it too repulsive to put up with anymore, and I took it to the length, which a lot of people thought was too much, of testifying, contradicting Sidney directly when he said that the White House had not tried to smear Monica Lewinsky as a stalker.
Call her a stalker.
Yeah, I knew absolutely for sure at first hand that wasn't true, that they had tried to smear her as a stalker. I think now no one denies it, but because of the circumstances of the impeachment trial where I said I would if called to testify to that, it meant that Sidney and I had something of a breach.
How did that incident change your life or your relationships in Washington?
Well, in two ways. One, I think that even if one is, or can be argued to be, in the right or trying to tell the truth, or indeed telling it, a lot of people I can quite see will often think, well, someone is still acting in some ways as an informer. So that's the unpleasant insinuation. And on the left, this is a very, very strong tradition. It's sort of almost like a law of omerta. Anyone who testifies to a hearing is sort of like a fink, is a rat, is a stool pigeon. That's culture. So I got a lot of sidelong looks about that. And of course, there were many, many people who thought, and still think, that it was nothing to do with the performance of the president's responsibilities or with his performance as a politician. That he had this squalid side to him, and always had had. But that's a different disagreement.